will become light.
Tikilluaritsi tamassi tikilluaritsi Nunaatsinni isiinnaartut tikilluaritsi Nuuk International Film Festival tas 2018 nammassivoq ullumi tas oqaluttussaava oqarlinneq ammassoor filmiliortartut maani isiaqatigivarput nunavimmingaanniit maannuummingaanniit aammaya kutskimingaanniit una oqallinneq filmi tungaatigut imiliphiunara tuluttunnut oqallinneq ammassoor kisiatuluttuugami taamaammat KNR tuumut kalaallisut tusarnarusukkussi malinnaarluarisi KNR tuumut nuunniarsiu qoyana imiliphiunara takanna
qoyana. All right, welcome everyone to this panel talk at Nuuk International Film Festival, and especially also welcome to the viewers at home. We are very happy and a little bit surprised that we were able to do this very interesting talk live to the whole of Greenland and basically also to the whole world through the online platform on YouTube. So welcome to the viewers along the Greenlandic coasts, and of course welcome to the guests here in the audience, and mostly to the wonderful panel that we have for today's talk. My name is Emil. I'm from Nuuk originally, a film producer, and I've also had the honor of being part of the organizing committee behind Nuuk International Film Festival, which is in its second edition this year. The first one was last year, and we're hoping to gradually build on this concept to get more films and more filmmakers to join us here for this annual film festival in Nuuk. So it really makes a big difference, I think, also to be able to invite people from the rest of Greenland to be part of this event in Nuuk, which we hopefully can make into a national event in coming years. So I'm really happy and honored to be able to host this talk with you guys. As you've seen in the program for the film festival, the title of this talk is called Current Trends in Arctic Filmmaking, and that's what we will be talking about and debating with you here today. And I think that one obvious trend that you can see right from the start here is that we have in our program this year a significant majority of female directors' works, and we have a panel talk today with an entirely female panel. And I think that says something about the films that we make in the Arctic and about indigenous filmmaking in general, that we have really, really strong female artistic talent. This is something that happened without us really thinking about it. We have no quotas for gender balance and things that we talk about all the time in the Western world. So I think on that particular trend or on that particular issue, we are light years ahead of the Western world. And I'm really proud to be able to invite and host and present 5 amazing filmmakers from the Arctic, all women, to this panel. I think that's something we should applaud. So before we go into the discussion, I would just like to briefly introduce the panel from left over here. We are very happy to have from Nunavik, Asinnayaq. We are yet to see your film, which is called 3000. It is a short film, and it will screen tonight as part of the closing gala of Nuuk International Film Festival. And next to you is Laguluk Williamson Bathory from Kalaallit. And we had the very big pleasure of seeing your film the day before yesterday. It's called Silab Budunga, or Silab Budua in Greenlandic, the whole of the universe. And we'll talk about that in a little while as well. And of course, Bipaluk, whom you already mentioned, you already saw. Bipaluk is the chairwoman of Film GL. She is also one of the driving forces behind this festival. But today, you're here in your capacity as a film director with a very big premiere tonight for your first feature film, Anori, which is the closing film at Nuuk Film Festival tonight. And it is also the first feature film from Greenland directed by a female director, so that's an accomplishment as well. Welcome to you. And Ruthi Montgomery Andersen, a producer here from Nuuk. Your film I Dance was screened the day before yesterday as well. And we're really happy to have you here in this panel as well. And finally from Yakutsk in Siberia or Russia, maybe you will need to clarify that in a little bit. Sadana Savina, an amazing producer, and we've had the pleasure of watching 2 of your films already at this festival. Aga, which was the opening film, and then yesterday, The Bonfire, which you produced. So welcome to all of you. I can't wait to get started, and to get started, I think we should just start by watching a short clip from KNR's film 3000, which is screening tonight at 6 o'clock. So if you can play it.
It seems inconceivable as I live now. I will become light.
A very short clip, but a clip that still, I think, very much presents or represents the feel and the tone of the film. We're having this talk today mostly from an artistic point of view, whereas yesterday we were talking production structures. But I would just like to, if you can tell about the process of creating this film from archive footage and how you did that.
Well, I'm definitely happy that I'm on today's panel instead of yesterday's panel, because I'm definitely all about the artistic side. And working with the archives is amazing. I absolutely love doing it. It was such an amazing opportunity to learn more about myself and the people that I'm a part of, and to learn so many things by seeing. It's an important way to learn, definitely. And one thing that I didn't realize when I started working with archives, but now that I've had some time to think about it, I realized that because there's no main character for this film and there's no subject to interview or to get information from that way, but what I did have to pay attention to and listen to was the archives. I watched all of the archives from the National Film Board that they were housing. I watched all of the ones that were labeled as Inuit, and it's like many hours of footage, and I watched them all twice, and I had to, the first time, and I had to watch them twice because the first time that I watched them, I was trying to put my own wishes onto them and trying to get what I wanted to see out of it, and it wasn't the proper approach, so I had to learn from that mistake and try again, and the second time I just watched them and listened to them rather than put my own wishes onto them. So that was something I learned working with the archives, and as an artist, learning that even sometimes when you don't think there's something you have to be paying attention to and listening to, there's always something that you can learn from. Yeah. So that, I think, was maybe the biggest thing I learned artistically making this film.
How long was that process of going through the archives and finding the clips before you could actually start to put them together into a film?
Yeah, I looked over the clips for 2 summers, so one summer, one time, the other summer, the second time, so maybe 2 months or so each time. Yeah.
And one thing I think is particularly interesting, which I would like to ask you, is that, of course, being from the Arctic and being indigenous people from the Arctic, we all know that the film footage that is in the national official archives are all made by non-indigenous filmmakers or journalists. So I think it's really interesting to have your perspective on what that process is of trying to work with footage that other people made and turning it into your own, which I think really succeeds in this film. How much did you think about that?
I thought about it a lot, and due to some circumstances in Canadian film during the time I was making this film. I also had to think a lot about what it means to take image out of its context, and in some cases, potentially there was not consent to being filmed, and also if there was consent, it was to a very specific way of using it, and I have removed it from that context. So it's something I had to think about the ethics of doing that, and that is really difficult, but whether or not that's an okay thing to do, I'm still not sure, but I definitely tried to, and I only have the best intentions for the use of these images, and maybe that's not enough, but I definitely, from my side, treated everyone with the biggest love in that, that I took the images from. And another thing I learned over this year, because I've been very fortunate to travel with this film, and in Brooklyn, I went to a conference that was especially for public film and TV producers, and in Japan, I was screening with another film from Japan, and the director, it was made from archives as well, and the director said their youth don't feel any connection to those archives that are of their ancestors and their people, and so when they're using the archives, it's really hard to make them feel emotionally connected or like that it has anything to do with them, whereas for me, looking at these archives, it was impossible to separate from myself. And
some of the maybe the idea this project from an indigenous point of view. I mean, if you wanted to make a statement with it, or if you wanted to say something about representation through film and media in the Arctic.
Täydessä issittumi tamakua ilisaqatin jarnera filmi oqaltuaqasin naagaluaku aamalu filmiliornermi taamatut misissuisumana oqaltuaqasinna naagaluaku tassa misigisinnaasakku tassani eqqarsaatigaakka
becomes a part of the way that you're motivated. It can inspire the way you're motivated to put the images together or not. So it is interesting because I think
täydessä tamakua misissornerat soqutigilartoruussu täydessä takkua toqqorsiimiit inuinnamanerarsik suliarineq suliarinekungeeltaamallu suliaqarnartingatsiartoruussuusinualluni.
And this definitely becomes a part of the film. The way that also the relationship between the camera and the subject changes through time too. At the beginning, it's all very in your face, and
täydessä allaqataani imin qiviarnartoruussuusarpatakkua misissuleqakkit toqqorsiumiit.
being more annoyed with it. So there's lots of shifts and changes that do happen throughout, depending on when the archives are from, and so.
Täydessä ama filmisuliarinialarakku takkua toqqorsiumiit toqanutakuitilersut aami eqqarsaatigisariaqarnikuura misissoqqissaarlugillu.
I think that's really visible in your film as well, and I hope that as many people as possible will come and see it.
Neriuppuga una soqutigilartoruussuun filmi neriuppuga taana inuimarlassuut isiginnarumaara quanarlu taudassalu tulliullugu takussаарput lakkulup suliaranikuusa silaaptunuga putuga.
beautiful.
Kusilaqaq.
This was originally an art installation from the Art Gallery of Ontario in Toronto, and
Taudas aqalugiarmi tanna Toronto-mulusuli suliaqanaqaqqaarniku. Taudas aqanuillusit filmiliangort filmiliangortinnikuiuk.
Of making the film for one platform and then
Taudas filmiliaqanaqarnerap allamut nuunniarnaaqaluq innikuuga.
I co-directed it along with my friend Jamie Griffiths.
Taudas allani tassinaama sulaqasaqarnikuunga.
Friend Selina Kalluk. And as you had mentioned, this is an all-female panel. And our
Taudas uani sorluqatiginaqarasuani apassernaqartut arnaannaaput. Taudas una arnarpal torusu una filmiliara.
statement in this film. And yeah, that's central to Silauputunga.
Taudas tamanna arnaasusertaanna silaaputunganaqatiusinneqarpoq.
that's the spirit.
So yeah, the first iteration of Silauputua was that it was a gallery piece. You walked into the gallery and you saw a
Taudas una ayasuluputunga allartippoq saqqummersitimin nermit.
and you could walk around each side of the screen and
Taudas uana amma tassintakuseqqaarneqarmat ukua isiginnaarutit assiigitut atorlugit kaaviaartoqarsinnagu taannalu isiginnerlugu.
And so what ended up happening is if you sat there long enough, you would hear the music for every single part of the film.
Taudas tassani isiginnaaraani sivisugaatiartum tamakkua nipilarsuusitai ni qanoq oqaartuutiqarnerstaakua malugineqarsinnaaruq.
But it sounds so good when it's all
Taudas taanna tusaalerlu nipigisseruussuusarpaamal nuaterseruussuusarluni.
yeah, it also putting it into a cinematic format helped us I suppose find like a curvature or a mountain range for us to follow.
Taudas tassinaama makkua qattorna
Especially for the films that you represent in this panel, that
qaqqat aamma ammut qummulliigarlaatarnerallassini filmiliarnerma aamma malniarnikuaa.
about you as artists, basically, because you have very diverse backgrounds, and I've known you mostly as a performer.
Taudas ilisarasimavukkit isiginnaartitsiartut.
You're expressing yourself through when you're making a film or.
Taudas suna eqqumituliarnerma takulitseriasuna atorniarnikugu uan filmiliornili immin naminaq saaniarnerni.
In Greenlandic mass dancing since I was 13 years old.
Taudas taanna
The basis for the explorations I do artistically.
Taudas taanna uana allaaviginikuaaga lallinaani ingerlineqartartoq uaayernertassiil taannalu tungavigalugu inuit inoriasiat takusinniarnikuullugu.
Pushing myself to go past boundaries I thought were permanent.
Taudas imin piimaffiginikuunga taanna suliaranaqarnissa iluamik aammalu takulitserias taanna aamma suussalersu aamma eqqarsaatigalugu ingerliniarnikuaa.
So do you have any direction that you want to pursue from this point on? Do you want to work more on films or?
Taudas taanna filmiliortarnerat ingerliseqqiniarpuk.
Where you feel you can go in any artistical direction.
Taudas tassani uani assiigitsorpasuusamminaqarsinnaagamik illillu qanoq takulitseriasaqarnassa tassinnaama aalaangersinnaallugu.
A nest of the things that I'm working on.
Taudas uanga
Instead of having
siulissima aamma taanna suliaraneegara sumut killaqassanerstaa sumali iluaniillunga taasumali iluaniillunga sulisariaqartassaaga.
be able to gather things instead of heading for goals. But we do have things up our sleeves. The next thing that we're going to be working on a brand new thing is a performance along with Jamie Griffiths. Three factories, this is what I've started calling them. The performance factory that where everything is improvised, even the light that comes drawn around me. Crossing those barriers constantly between music, light, and presence on stage.
What's happening with your film, at least in the art gallery scenario, where things happen more coincidentally, maybe because the audio and the video is not synced, or they work freely. Long, hard, and expensive
a great skill that Inuit have.
To
be able to think on your feet and to create something as
Inuit piniartut inuuneq maanakkorluni inuunerisartungavualu ingerlisartaanalu ama tungaviiniarsaqisarpaa.
We're going to move on to the next clip.
Taudassalu sulliatta takuffigilarisiarpu tassalu anori.
Was one of the financing trailers, so it may not reflect 100% the film that people will see tonight, but
imma unnuutaan takutineqartussua imma 100% tiunkaluartamuutnum takutineqartussaassa.
Tuanarnakua niviarsiaaro inuunermi sitarsuarmalun ajungittuinna uppeerusukka
inuunitta ingerlanerani visigissassarsuornitsugut ingerlaqatissatsinnik inuunitsinni ujarlertarpugut
inuunnernertuqaqa miunerasissanerlaqaan
qoltuneqartararpaama ajungittuinna isanipiarsiarpamakku tusaayumani uppuayumanagi
Nuk
Illuut tutollugit assa.
Så hun bare i hende sohun ananam oqultuatan naanaqauan oqultuanisanaqa anaqul oqultuallaannaa
yes, Anori, which has been in production for quite a while.
Taudassa anuatalaqa suliaranaqarniku taudassalu kalalluna suliagalorp kisiani issittumi inuit innovation am tungisutaqarpoq tautassalu inuit inuaqatigi inuit atuisarneratan takusittiniartugu
a little bit because so many things happen that point forward in the way that we make films.
Tautassatanalu una film visualiarinissaassiornitigut assiingitunik pisoqartarniku tautassalu unnummut pissaganassaa taassuma filmi takkunissaa tautassa filmi naatsunngorluusuliaaqaarniku massakkullu takisuungorlugu suliarinikuuat tautassa tassani alortussasit aammalusuu takutinniarnerlugu qanumik qanoq takuit tsenerlugu qanoq suliarinikuugu tautassa uani uani improviseerisariaqarnikuunga tautassalu assiingitsi sammuillu assiingitsu taama misilaqarsimallugit tautassalu filmil taanna suurunami naggataatigut sammuvissinia tariaqarnikuuara tautas taanna uanga namminarmisigissutikka tungavigalugu taanna suliaranikuuara tautas filmi naatsuugallarami sammivit assiingitsoruunisuunikukut tautas aama tassini aam takutinniarnerarpoq isinninneq aama annernaarsinnaasoq tautas inuit ajortumik pissuseqarangata aama inunu allansunniuteqartarnerus taanna aam takutinniarneqarpoq
I was in another state of mind and I picked it up later again.
tautas tan 2012 taanna aallarteqqarpara una filmi naatsoq
no, it must be in 12. But then we used the money to do another documentary in Canada instead.
tautassa tan 2012 aallartekkaluarlugu taava pisimasuit tungavilu filmiliorn taanna kanadama aallartinneqarnikuuakku taamaammallu unitikkallarnikuullugu taavalu tamassuma kiorna aama aningaersioqqittariaqalernikuulluga tautassa taanna aallartikkakku eqqarsati assiigissimapu tassa takutikkusutakka assiingitsoruussuunikuugamik tassani suutamassa suliasariaqarnikuuakka tautassa hel tassani suleqatigilerpara taannalu aaliingersumalluinertamik aama sammivilimik suleriaasaqarnikuu taammallu qanersuleriaasaqarsilerta oqaleqatigiussigisariaqarnikuullugu
It's my cast and crew that did it to a feature film. They believed in it and they wanted to do more with the material.
tautassa ukua suleqatikku ukua filmiliaqaarkau qanoq qanoq atorneqarnissa taama aaqqissuuneqarnassaan taakkua aampiumasaqartisaqarnikuuppu taamal taamakkua suleqatigiustigilikuullutigit
and because you were open to the process and
tautassa taamal suliaqarnermi paasisinnaavara ammaseruussoramik pissuseqarsimayutik
into that movement, but I think the being able to make these kinds of changes in that process.
tautassa aama suliap ingerlineran aama allanguariasaqarsinnaasimagutik
It's very clear from the trailer we just saw that you have
tautassa una uani ilisariatissum takusinnaarput
and a clear story.
tautassa una erseqqarissoruussorma asanini pillugu qaltuas takusinnaarup tautassani assiingitut atorneqarpusorlu aama qitinne qitin qitsinner tamakkualu assiingitut atorniar qalu atornissaanik qalu eqqarsaateqarnikuut aammalu alaagernikugit.
When I have an idea, I just see it
to
the beginning or to the end. And I just, okay, then she have to move here, and then I go there, and then she have to dance, and then I see the clips already.
Taudas isumassarsiartaqaariku eqqarsaatinnikuput takutinnissanerlugut.
A little hard with my actors, so just okay and.
Taudas tanda suurunami ajornakusorniku kisiin tässä.
I think the dance. The short film I did last year, it has dance as well.
Taudas una filmin natsumi suliarnikusani aama qisinneq aama tassani ilaavuq.
Relief, and it's beautiful, and I work with people that are good dancers.
Taudassani aama inu qississinnarusassani aama uani sulaqatiginikuakka.
Have it in her, so why not use it to do it? Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe that's a good point.
Taudas aama nukuaka tamakkua takutitseriatit aama assiingitut aama pikkorfigiseruussugami.
Points. I mean, you're playmakers, you're film directors. You do a lot of different art forms, and it's the same with the talent that you have in the film that also have very versatile, diverse backgrounds and can do a lot of things.
Tassani aama assiingitsulinga tunliaqutaqarawi taamaammallu taana filmi assiingitsu takutitseriasaqarpa aamalu taanalu kusalartoruussuullunilu inernaqa.
After 6 years in the making.
Tawalo massakkullu anore ping massakkut biviusungorpu ukiuarfaamarlu arfaapaasoqaangiummata.
We're going to at least stay in the dance.
Tawdas aama qatsinnermiginnassaagut.
A short clip from the documentary film I Dance.
Tawdasalu tullien takuffi lagassaarpu tassagu filminaatu I Dance.
Sight, visual, you're affected by so many things on a constant basis. So it's extremely important for you to find who are you, why are you, and what are you to this? Answer those questions and stay true to those answers on your journey, no matter what.
Identitet, det er et spørgsmål om, hvem er jeg? Så min identitet, den er, jeg ved ikke helt, hvem jeg er.
Ja, det ved jeg ikke helt. Det er svært at forklare.
I want to know more about my identity. But I don't think I will learn about myself because I'm not interested in that so much about myself, but about my friends, yeah.
Det er et svært spørgsmål. Hvad der gør mig til mig?
What we want to do with this workshop is that we would like for you guys to bring your personality to the choreography. Yeah? So we want to teach you the choreography, but then we want you guys to bring your personality to lift it up. It's about your identity. It's about finding out who am I, how do I dance, how do I move, what do I think is cool, what do I want to enhance.
It's about giving back to the society and the culture and giving back to the country that has given me so much. I grew up here, so I want youth to have the same chance and more than I had when I was a youth. Because when I began dancing, there was no dance school, there was no dance studio, there was almost no dance performances in Greenland whatsoever. So this is also me trying to say that, okay, I was just lucky because I have a mother who used to dance, and I said, Mama, teach me how to dance.
So I Dance was screened the day before yesterday in the short film program here, and it has a Norwegian director, Maida Hals, but you produced it, Rutti, and
Rutti tästä suliarnikuut
at Nuuk Nordisk Kulturfestival.
Se tänne Nuuk Kulturfestival tänne tässä on näin suliarnikuut. Tässä Ungimangila qumitsiliariasa ataasa atorluukisani uani qumitsiliornermi takutsius tautassani inuusuttut tassani qanoq takuitseriasaqarnassan tassani iliniartisinneqarpu tautassalu qumitsiliorner qarsaatigaluu kinaassutsit nimau qaltuaralaarsinnaa.
But also to be a person, you have to be able to kind of know yourself, but also to reach out to yourself. At the university, and I've worked with the children and youth in the dance school, so I've had a lot of contact with people.
Semmisaqartuu taamammallu inuit ataamaillu taassiingitsu taama attavaqarfigilartarnikuullugut tautassiilu uanilu amma inuusittut qatinnameqateriatigillu assiingitsunik ilniartinni tarpagut tautassilu uani paisariaqarpoq qanu iliorsinnaanerlutinnaminarlu aalaingarlu qanu illusi takautiteriasaqassileqartis tautassa aalana uani kisimi apeqqutaanginnami kisianili qanu illuun takutissisinnaanaq takasinnaasusseqarnaama tassani ama eqqarsaatigileqartariaqarluni
alone. They have to know something about their culture.
Tautassani ungimaanginnangilaq qitsissinnaasuqartariaqartu kisianili kultuurkinaasusserlassani ilisimanaqartariaqarpoq.
How you worked with trying to have the dancers find themselves.
Tautassa qanuillussu ukua qitittut imminnassaarisinnаарnikuugit.
Offered this to our oldest dancers at the dance school, which were between the ages of 13 and up.
Tautassani uani amma qatinnermik ilniarfami tassani amma utoqqaanarumaartut aam tassani aama sulaqatigiagut taawal tassanilu qatinni pillu uiuksiorpaqarnikullu tassa
because he's well known. He's danced for Michael Jackson and for Beyonce, and so they were like, "Wow, this is really cool."
Tautassilu awani iltersuisuq qatinnermik isugiusimasaqarluaram taawal takkualu qanoq qasittariasaqarnera takullugu aama nuannaqasequrunniku suunikuuga
of strengthening their bodies, of giving them choreography.
Tautassani qanoq takusitteriasaqassanus qataawalu qanoq qatinniaaqqissuunneqassanus tassani iltersunneqarnikuup.
And in order to ensure that this was documented, then we
tautassani uani filmi beviusun tassa takusittissuugu.
But maybe it can go out and inspire other young people or inspire
tautassa uani peqataasu kisimik taani pissarsiaqarfiigila kisanili immara una takusittaqattaarneratigut aama inuusustut aama allat sunnerneqarsinnaa.
That's truly a point of reference for us as well as to how we can empower young people through filmmaking.
Tautassani immaqa aama inuusuttu qanu filmiliornermi aama immaqa iltersorsinnaagut aamal takutissinnaalluu. Tautasselu takuffigilaagassarput tullaq taguuteqarpullilluart eagle taannalu sataana savila suliaqa
Toyankuulaatamaarsia toyankuuta
En kırasılcangan kiniler uyaların tıpı debekken. Veha toyan iki toyan kılı yakıp budu.
Yajukkaartannarput bu.
Orhaas palaan pittarpit. Очартуустар кыхнахаттагиссиаттигит диир боллаати. Кырчыгайы кылай бит.
This really looks like something that we should see next year at NIF, at Nuuk International Film Festival.
Taudastani maqa appau takusariaqassaarput.
But you also take them out and present them all over the world.
Taudasuna filmi Nunarsam takutsinnikuudaatsukokkami filmfestivalaqarnaan tassani takuseqqaallaqarpaamul Moskovami filmi pilluit saqqummarsatiimmani festivalaqarnam taama takutsinneqarnikuulluni suna atassani immikko Utsigiva.
I'm attached to this project as a promotional producer mostly. I was not involved in whole the production.
Taudastasuma asuliaqaneraatamaat akuuffiginikuungilaqa.
To promote, to apply, to propose, discuss, and push probably. There's some program.
Taudassikisen tassini piaqarsarnerali oqallittarnerni peqataanikuunga peqataanikuunga.
Yakutian writer.
Taudasini una oqaltuaq kik ilasimanaqangitu inui ikitsuinnaat ilasaqasimassaa tungavigalugu filmiliaru.
This is the way how unheard literature was discovered, and I think this story came in time to my mind. Because
taudasini filmip eqqarsartariasera ua sundernikua.
And that time when he was thinking about this project, it was not. I mean, he was not, and local filmmakers were not ready technically, because this is sort of combined shooting.
Taudasini uani filmiliornertut qanusamma qassalersoq ilasima qassarnikua taamammallu ukua assiingitim tunguiqartillugu aammalu takusitassa assiingitsunngorlugu tassani suliaqqaarneqarniku.
They shoot eagle there and then combine this another. I mean, we actors are in Yakutia.
Taudasini uani qatiusinneqarpoq nattuqalik taavalu allan tana sammaveqartillugu aammalu allat aama ilangulluit.
Then and happily we just finished that and
taudassaquyaartumik filmi taina quyaartumi naammassivaarput.
Was celebrating its 40th anniversary. It's quite a big international film festival, well known in the world of filmmaking.
Taudasini aama nunarsuarmi tamami filmi festivalaqarnermi tastaguitisarnermi aama taina takuseqattaartarnikuarput.
It's getting known inside of Russia first of all, and even in some international levels.
Taudasini Russlandimi taina takutinneqarnissa sullastigiaqqaarnikuarpu tamassuun kiornunarsuarmi tamammi.
Critics and those who deal with filmmaking were making kind of comments and reviews about this film. They were very surprised about the uniqueness of the language of film. I mean, telling the story.
Tautassani filminik isunnertorsiuisartut tupaallanigoruussuupput tassani oqaatsit atorneqartut aammalu inuit oqaasi tungavialu taana suliaqanaqarnikuumu tassa tassani ааллаққамут анигаассақарсимагила таассума сулиaqanaqarnissaa.
And he said that this is like a fairy tale. It's a very tender with very deep respect and love story, which we in modern filmmaking is kind of unique and rare thing. He said.
Tautassani filmiliornermi aamma immikkuullaris suulluinnaarami
thing in our filmmaking that we are very close to our roots. That is true for sure. We are making our
tautassa uut inoreesorputassani filmiliornermi aamma tungaviilluinnerparput tautassal kultuurput aamma tassin takutinniarneqarluni
when people are watching this they feel that.
Tamakkualu filmimillu isiginnaartamakkua aamma misigisinnaasarpaat.
At different level festivals. It was in Moscow and then it was in Kazakhstan and lots of festivals booked it.
Tautassa Moscow алларпассуарнилу фильмфестивал валеқарнан таани фильмин такуитсинарни такуси қаттаартарникуу таавалу таана фильми аама арлалник аама нерсернаасернеқарникуу.
Shock for us because this is also a well-known festival which is so-called Class A or to my mind, right? And in the list of 15 well-known festivals. So, and recently on 19th of September it is released at home.
Okay.
At last. Yeah, and I understand you people look how you're worried because the
people uqaltuaqanu uqaltuaqat
to your people, you know.
Tautassilu
I remember Edward was very like
tautassilu people uqaltuaqa taani filmilien nuatiin takuteqqaarniarlu taammallu uaganularsuarmu taarmu saqqumpuinnialaraku assut qanortiguneqassilerus pissagatigeruseruussuunikuua. Tautassa Russlandnimi taana soorut taammat Russlandnimi taana filmi takuteqqaarneqarnikuu.
But it's also really interesting to see how they are starting now to travel the world in the biggest film festivals because of their unique.
Tautassa taana sunniuteqarnera assiingitsun inuianni takullu aamma soqutigilartoruussuu.
To be able to for a Greenlandic film to have a proper release in Denmark.
Tauttassalu soorlu aammalu nularsuarmut aamma tamakkua filmilliat saqqummiinuneqarnera aamma igerlinniarneqartarpu taavalu kalaallit filmilliat eqqarsaatigalugut avama saqqummiunialerani Denmarkimi takuseqqaanneqartarpu. Tautassa uani ammassumik aamma oqallinneqarsinnau taavalu uani tusornaartut aamma апаққутеқарнассамууннут периарфиссақарсаппут тауtassalu уани панили аатас укуа амассорнеқартут намминнеқ аммассумик аама оқасеқарсиннаап таутасса инугаати инуттут фильмилиортартавсе қануиллуси иммиссин нукинаасуерсин ассаарисарписсиу. Tautassal tamannalu filmiliornermi ingerlinneqaneqanuq illuatortarpissiu.
I think about it. I guess I think like where I come from, I try to come from like ways of working and thinking like as much as I can and know how to within Inuit philosophy.
Tautassa uani qassatigineguura Inuit qanoq inoriasaqarnerstama tungaviginiarsaqalugu.
Inuit. So I think and I want to speak primarily to my fellow Inuit, but in a way that allows larger audiences to feel not completely like it's not for them.
Tautassa uani Inuit oqaasi aamma atorneqarnissaat aamma uani qassaatiginaqqarsinnaagalaupuk isiani filmimik isiginnaartussat oqaatsit aama paasinaasariaqara tassaniqqas tungaviginakuuga tautastani soqutigilarpuani film tassa soqutigilartamakua takutinissa tassa sumingaandersuuntin atassersinnaagatsigu
appreciate within yourself that you will always be an activist filmmaker even if
tautassa immin akuasaariaqarpu ammalu immiillu oraffiisariaqarluni tassa filmiliortartuulluni.
It's easiest and primarily first accepted by viewers as like an Inuk film.
Tautassani uani inuit film inuaqatigi inuit filmiliatut akuarinaqarniku
Medium of filmmaking, and I think that I definitely don't look down upon and don't want to not be considered as an Inuk filmmaker because it's important to me that I am.
Tautassani uani kinasussara amba filmiliornermi amba pigaarutiqarpu.
It means that I still have the capacity to be a part of another, like a larger world of filmmaking, which is.
Tautassani amba suliam annertuum paqataasinnaanерsiutuunissarlu amba tassani piginnaaleqarfiara igisariaqarpu.
And that's all a part of who I am. However.
Tautassani uani amba kinasussara amba suornami tungaviniartariaqarnikuuga.
That's how it is, and it doesn't bother me too much because I'm proud to be, you know.
Tautassa uanami iduttut suornami annertuallamik itungnavigissaangilanga kisanili inuiaqatigiittut saqqalusaqqumariarsinnaalisarput eqqarsaatigisariaqarlu.
People want to put you in, or you can actually use it as something to get energy from and to build like a brand as an Inuk artist or an indigenous artist.
Tautassani uani inuttut aammalu nunap inoqqavisut takutinniarlas tassani aama tungaviginiarsimassu.
Such a push towards okay, what I'm trying to say is in my artistic life, I always push for the chance to express myself as an individual. And for me
tautassani nunap inoqqavisut immin qanoq takutinniarnissara tassani aama tungavagisarpara.
been this performative aspect, like you have to be the representative of Inuit.
Tautassani aama inuit sinnerluit saqummarsinnaasariaqarput.
With all my collaborators to drop, you can be yourself. And
Tautassilu namina imminillu aama inuttut aama takutissinnaasariaqarlut.
The audience. Otherwise, I would like to ask you, Bibaluk, looking ahead in Greenlandic cinema, because we've also dealt a lot with documentary films on this festival.
Ja, tassani aama inuit kalaslinnaani taamatu filmfestival qarnaarni kalaslinnaanigaaners takutinneerpa aammalu piviusut uani filmfestivalimi piviusuni filmili arsalassuut aama takutippagut. Tautassa kalaslinnaani filmiliortatoqanuillutik taamatut ingerlaqariarsinnaappat.
This festival was meant to be to open doors to documentary and
tautassani una filmfestivali pineqarneruput makkua piviusunik filmiliat.
And Alethea as well, as we know in like communities of indigenous cinema. So it was so important to have Alanis as a guest as well as Alethea. And now
tautassa pigaawataqarniku aama nuani allalingaanik aama filmilik uani takuitsisinnaanissarput.
Could we somehow get people to be interested in that art form as well?
Tautassa ukua filmin takusinneqartut eqqarsaatiginikuarput aama qanuilluta inunnut ukualu takutitteriata inunnuqanoq soqutigilartunguartissinnaasinerlutigit.
Film workshop that we have here in Nuuk, and it's open for everyone. Like if you are going in.
Tautassani aama nuummi filmiliornermi ampilluuveksuku paqarnagu Buitse paqarnissarpu pilarsarutigaarpu tassiilu kikkutaaormik
interest in filmmaking.
Amma kikkuun taama ammasuutaannalu filmiliornermi soqutigisaqartum taama ammasuulluni.
It's a power tool to tell your story. So
taulas tassani amma takutinna amma tassani amma uqaltigineqarsaaq takutisinnaayussaqarlu.
Growth in the community or really in people's identity through documentary films.
Taulas beviusunik filmiliornermi tassani inu kinaasusisioruna maama takutisinneqartaarput. Taulas beviusunik filmiliu qasaatigalugit.
People are just learning to watch these films, documentary ones, and
taulasani inuit allat tamattut inu alla qanoq inuoriasaqarnernik aama ilikkaaqartarput.
Swiss, to my mind, filmmaker Christian Frey, and it's about mama's bones and tusk extracting with the melting of this Arctic. But there is two stories. One of them is about hunters.
Taulasani aama filmiliortartaasaq aama tamat beviusun filmiliorniku tassiilu marlungerlu taana avinneqarnagus siullermik ukua piniartu takutinniarneqarlus taava aappaani piniaga taama takutinniarneqarnikuulsik.
Of course, comes with the financing, but also it's a very hard work in a documentary because you have to work much with archives, footage, and so on to get ready to make these things, and also how to distribute this film.
Taulasani aama aningasarsiornissa taavalu film siaruarnissa aama eqqasaatigineqartariaqartarput.
And I see that there is interest in documentary films.
Taulasakisen ukua beviusun tungavialu filmilioriaasaq filmiliortarnerat aama soqutigalugitsaq isaqqumiunaanaqartarpugut массаккунаамассини сариақассау қутсавигиссавассилу
Arctic indigenous cinema and indigenous cinema as a whole, and we can be filmmakers and artists in whatever right that we want to be, and I think that's
taulasali uali filiffisailaqarnermi uut suliatsinnik takulitsiiniavu sarpuu taavalu namineq suulakusikkusunnerlugi taama aalaagernеqartariaqarpuu taulassalu isiginnaartoquina ammalu maannayuutut ullu sinnera pissarsivigiilluarisiu